Glenn was annoyed that I'd joined in the argument with the residents, specifically that I'd joined in on their side as opposed to his. But I think the sort of when it came to being out to actually talking to the people and what it was they were afraid of, I think that was sort of an entirely valid line of inquiry.
But I love him, still, you know what I mean? But another one of them we could fall out, mate, you know?
At a communal dinner that evening, James seizes the opportunity to pursue his challenge.
So tell us the
Has Bouncer stopped smoking it for the week?
No, that's what we were going to talk about tonight.
You wanted to talk about
you mean you want to sort of talk it over for so long? The week's over. You don't have to.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, God, you've got it.
Right, I told you, with me and you, right, I want to smoke weed when James don't, if you like, and show that all through the week, you know what I mean, there's never a time that you're going to find me unable to function mentally or physically, right, and I'll smoke weed pretty much constantly, you know what I mean, but it's up to everybody else if they want to stop.
The reason why I condone smoking of the herbs full time, forever, is because all I see around from people who smoke herbs is peace. That's all I see. There's a mass aura of violence within the whole drinking pub scene in forget the rest of the world, in the British Isles. Every single weekend there's throats cut, there's with glasses, there's people go home, they give their missus a few thumps because they're pissed out their heads.
So it's a sensible thing to avoid that and choose another culture.
My ex-girlfriend is a 3-year served nurse, right? And she done her 3-month stint on accident emergency, and every single Friday and Saturday night it was full of cases.
Alcohol.
Cases from the pubs, just reeled in. This happens every weekend throughout the British Isles.
70% of beds on Saturday nights are filled with victims of this, that no one's been ever known to die from it, ever. Yes or no, yeah? Is this, in its social, community and personal effects on a person, more dangerous than this?
In either case, I think it depends on the level of excess, but I'd probably have to say no.
How can you, as an intelligent person, James, right, and an honest person, I hope, right, how can you say, when in answer to that you answer no, this is not more dangerous in its social community effects than this?
I'd think from various things I've read that it's a lie to say that no one has ever died.
No, I'm talking about social and community effects.
As I would argue that the social and community damage of that is minimised by the prohibition.
Come on, James, be honest, man.
Yes.
If you want to be an MP,
that is an element
show that you're open
of
to
that.
being. Show that you're open to. You know what I mean? Don't be like all the other MPs, man, where they say no. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Party line. You know what I mean?
It's not party line.
It is party line. The Conservative Party line is that gets them millions of dollars, and that gets them private prisons. Do you think I should be made to bring the law into disrepute because I feel it's my right to smoke it, that I should go to prison because I refuse to stop, you know? I've been nicked for it and I refuse to stop. Do you think I should go to prison?
As I've suggested, we are all now European citizens, and I might suggest that you exercise your right to live in another European country.
Copping out. Me, I'm alright, man.
Yes. You're a very nice person. I wouldn't like to see you in prison, but it would be for your own good.
I think that James knows that the reason of the case, right, is very overwhelming.
So when I get you from my answer, and was sort of dismissed as purely putting forward a simple party line, and my insistence that my line was sort of denied.
He wants to be an MP, right, so he can't come over and say, you know what I mean?
It couldn't be what I thought. I had to be sort of quoting from a manifesto, and I sort of found that sort of very hard to deal with, because all you can do in response is say, no, it is what I believe. Honest.
But I feel that he knows. I feel that he feels all right with it. So his heart says yeah, but his head says no. That's what I think.
And on an interesting note, having made the challenge yesterday that one of the community gives up drugs for the week and having the initial spurt of interest, none of them have decided to do so. The original volunteer bouncer can't see the point. When
On BBC Three Counties Radio across beds, hearts and bucks, this is John Gaunt.
17 minutes past 9, as I say, we've got Glenn Jenkins here from Exodus this morning, putting forward the view that he thinks cannabis should be legalised. James Hellyer, former chair of Cambridge University's Young Conservatives, he's spending a week with Exodus and he's hating it by the look of it. Before the week's out, he'll have a stud through his nose, one through his tongue, and he'll be into rave music.
I'd rather be dead.
And also we've got Dr. Adrian Rogers. He's the former director of the Conservative Family Institute and now runs an organisation called Family Focus. Adrian, we're losing the war against drugs. It isn't working, prohibition in terms of cannabis in particular, because as Glenn says, loads of kids are using it. They're smoking it all the time, according to James at the Collective. Why don't we just open the doors and allow cannabis to be sold legally, get rid of the drug dealers?
You know, I think there is an argument for that, but it's a fallacious one and it's a very dangerous one. You just don't want another drug that is going to be legalised.
But we're not able to stop it, are we?
Well, we are. We're unwilling to stop it. And this is the nonsense.
So what do you think should happen then? You want to clamp down?
Well, yes.
Well, what would you do if you were staying at Exodus last night? I mean, James is staying there. He says everyone's smoking dope. Why aren't you phoning the police? If you're that up in arms, would you have phoned the police?
Indeed, I said to him, yes. I mean, the whole lot need to be arrested.
Glenn, you'd have Glenn in jail, would you, for smoking dope?
We have gone soft on drugs. We have gone so soft on drugs in this country that we're crazy. We should be turning around to everybody who takes drugs and say, you're either sad or bad for society or dangerous to society. We won't have anything to do with you. You want to go and take drugs? Go elsewhere.
Okay, so Glenn Jenkins, if he's smoking dope every day, you'd have him in prison doing hard labour, in effect.
Well,
a hard prison regime, would you?
Yes, if necessary, to stop him.
In a word, Glenn, in a word, if there was hard prison sentences with hard labour, the kind of old style, no telly in the cell, none of that, hard labour, would you carry on smoking dope?
Not only would I carry on smoking dope, I'd campaign against that as an absolute abuse of people's human and civil rights. Can I just say something? Prison is for people who are a danger to other people.
OK, let's go to Vaughan on the mobile. Good morning, Vaughan.
A lot of my friends smoke it, and a lot of people smoke it all over the country, all over the world, and I just think it's something that should be legalised. It's totally different to cocaine and all that.
OK, Vaughan, do you think effectively it is not legal but decriminalised at the moment? I mean, the chances of you actually getting picked up... I mean, you know, when you think about it, this is the BBC, and you're on the BBC saying, I smoke dope, I do something that's illegal, but you're not going to get arrested for it, are you? Sorry, James, what's that?
Trace the call and we can pass his number on to the authorities.
So you think he should be arrested for smoking dope?
Yes.
Yes.
Ironically, James's next appointment is with the Luton Police. The meeting was set up on Glenn's suggestion because he believes they have a realistic approach to drug law enforcement. But having met Dr. Adrian Rogers, James is now wondering whether he should report Exodus.
I understand that you've had some contact with the Exodus sort of movement at Hars Manor. What are your impressions of them?
I think they're a group of people who have a more alternative lifestyle to the lifestyle that most people lead. So, you know, they're outside of mainstream society to some extent. The primary reason for having a police service is actually to protect human rights. And we know more than ever at the moment that we have a responsibility to protect the human rights of all society. But we have a legitimate reason to interfere with those human rights if criminal offences are taking place.
On the drugs issue, would a series of high-profile arrests serve to deter people from trying out these drugs, in effect sort of a far sterner form of prohibition?
If you actually increase the punishment in a number of areas for something which society wants to eliminate, then it would have to some extent a deterrent effect.
Well, in effect, I sort of have made the decision to continue wallowing in indecision, because there's sort of knowing the people and sort of liking some of them in a way, it, if you like, makes it sort of that much harder to make what I would see as the right decision. And it's something that in a way I need to think a lot about, because there is sort of, if you like, a dichotomy between what these people are doing hidden away from everyone else and sort of the issue of, if you like, bringing